Welcome back to AM Northwest. Juneteenth marks a time to remember the African Americans who experienced slavery in Oregon and across the United States. Here to share a few ways to honor Juneteenth in our area, we welcome back from Oregon Black Pioneers, Mariah Rocker. Hi, Mariah.
Hi.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So for people that don't understand the significance of Juneteenth, tell me more about it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a pretty big deal. It's basically the day that we choose today to celebrate the emancipation of Black individuals throughout the United States. And that did impact people here in Oregon. Slavery was alive and well in Oregon for a period of time, and there were even people in the 1860 census that were listed as slaves. So this is after the fact.
Wow.
Yeah, so slavery obviously was one of the driving components of our nation.
Right.
And helped to create the powerhouse that we are today on the backs of those that were enslaved.
Right.
And so these people, you know, of course they fought for their freedom throughout the hundreds of years that they were under this peculiar institution, as it's often called.
Right.
But they finally were able to experience freedom as a result of the Civil War and really the emancipation that occurred as a result of that. So,
and that happened on June 19th.
Yes, that happened on
Okay.
June 19th. So the Emancipation Proclamation went into effect in 1863, and it wasn't until 2 years later that this information was given to folks in Galveston, Texas, as General Gordon Granger arrived on June 19th, 1865, and let them know that they were free, that they had been freed years before, and that the Civil War had already ended 2 months earlier.
Wow.
Due to General Lee having surrendered. So
Right.
yeah, so this is, imagine being enslaved years after the proclamation went into effect, and even a couple months after the war ended.
Right. Oh, there's so much history. But
Yeah.
this is now a federal holiday.
Yes.
And a state holiday.
And a state holiday, yeah.
That's so good.
It is good.
It's about time.
It is about time. So emancipation celebrations have occurred throughout the United States on various days throughout its history, because the Emancipation Proclamation, you know, was drafted in September and went into effect in January, on January 1st. So for a while, emancipation celebrations were on January 1st, and we have records of that happening here in Oregon, in Salem, in Portland. Celebrations throughout those, like the late 60s, 1860s,
Right.
and so on. But Texans have been celebrating Juneteenth ever since 1866.
Oh.
Yeah, they've been having community-centric events that celebrate the emancipation of those enslaved people, which was like hundreds of thousands at that
Right.
point in time. And so they've been celebrating since then. And that, for that reason, the holiday has persisted. Like I said, there could be many days that you pick to celebrate emancipation, but Juneteenth has persisted because of the Texan, the fact that they've pushed it forward for all this time. And
Right.
it was a state holiday for them in 1980. So they were, you know, it's been
way ahead of us.
Yeah, right. It's been
Yeah.
around, but it wasn't until 2020, you know, amidst the nationwide protests after the
Right.
killings of Black individuals, that it really got to hit the stratosphere, and people across the nation started to understand the importance and significance.
That was such a huge turning point for everybody, I think.
Yes.
And so it's finally, I'm so glad it's finally a federal and a state holiday.
Yes.
So how can we celebrate? There's a lot of celebrations across the state,
Yeah.
starting in Albany.
Yeah, there's a ton of celebrations. Today, there have been celebrations actually throughout the month.
Oh, good.
But, you know, there are still options today to be a part of. And so there's the Lynn Benton NAACP Juneteenth celebration in Albany.
Okay.
From 3 to 7 p.m. On the coast, there's the Astoria Juneteenth Freedom Celebration Picnic starting at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Then here in town, there's the Freedom Celebration at the Meso Makers Market.
Oh, I need to
fun.
look that one up. That
Right?
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little alliteration. That one's a lot more local, just here in Northeast Portland.
Okay.
From 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then in Salem, there's a couple options. There's the NAACP Juneteenth Block Party from 1 to 3. Or there's going to be the walking tours in conjunction with the Willamette Heritage Center. We call it In Freedom's Footsteps, as we kind of walk through the footsteps and the stories of Black Salemites.
You guys are a part of that when Oregon Black Pioneers are putting that on, right?
Yeah, we're
In
helping
partnership.
to support. Yeah, in partnership.
Okay.
I would say that Willamette Heritage Center and really Kylie Pine has done
Okay.
the brunt of the work, but she has had us come in, and I'm going to help give 2 of the 4 guided tours today, as well as there are also self-guided brochures available from 9 to 4 at
Do you
the Willamette
need to
Heritage
sign
Center.
up for the tours?
You can sign up ahead of time. There should be availability for the 12:15 tour. And then we will take some walk-ins, but worst case, you can come and take the self-guided tour on your own. And
That's great.
Just walk in those footsteps.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's also the Wilsonville celebration, from 5 to 7 p.m. too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now there is a person of interest that you talk about on your walk. Can you tell me a little bit about Daniel
Jones.
Thank you.
Yeah, Reverend Daniel Jones. Yeah. So he is a really incredible figure in Salem's history. He was only there for about a decade, but he managed to do a lot in the time that he lived in this community, and even went on to represent Oregon nationally as during civil rights, conferences and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we can support Oregon Black Pioneers, right?
Yeah.
You tell us a little bit about more how we can help you.
Sure. So we are mostly donation funded. And so on days like today, we do like to ask for donations, and specifically we're thinking $19 in support of June 19th.
Yes.
To celebrate Juneteenth and just support the work that we're doing to tell these stories and make sure that people know that, Black history has existed here in Oregon since the first non-native people to walk on Oregon's beaches, and that we've been here contributing to this state throughout history.
And $19 seems like a very doable amount. Okay.
Yeah, we think so.
Yes. Okay. So if you want more information about Oregon Black Pioneers, we're going to have a link to their information at KATU.com. Thanks so much, Mariah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Stay right there.